So now that our stomachs are full, we can die. Don't want to die with an empty stomach.
Peacefully.
Huh?
Comfortably.
Yeah. So let's do a meditation on these 8 stages. So after eating, there's a chance of being sleepy. So one thing that can help to stay awake is not closing the eyes all the way, but leaving them open a little bit, and then just having your eyes looking down onto your lap or the floor in front of you. So keeping the eyes open a little, there's some light coming into the eyes, and that can help you to stay awake. So you can try that if you'd like. Also making sure our back is straight will help. If we slouch, then that can also lead to sleepiness. So start with a few minutes of focusing on the breathing, coming in and going out to settle the mind. So let's see if we can imagine the time of our own death. Let's imagine that it's a natural death, not a sudden one. So maybe we've been ill for some time and have gone through various medical treatments. Doctors have tried to cure our illness, but they've come to the point where they say there's nothing more they can do, and it's just a matter of time. So imagine yourself in bed, lying. And you've now come to the actual end of your life. You can choose to imagine yourself alone or with some family and friends beside you. In some ways we wish to have our loved ones nearby, but on the other hand, that can make it harder. They might be emotional, we might be emotional. So if we're courageous enough, we could choose to die at a time when nobody's there. We're just by ourselves. So let's imagine going through these 8 stages. The first stage involves the dissolution of the earth element, the solidity in the body. As a result of this, our body gets weaker, becomes thinner, we feel drained of energy. I might even feel as if we're sinking into the bed or falling down. It becomes difficult to sit up or to hold anything. And at this stage, our sense of seeing declines. Our eyesight becomes unclear, becomes difficult to open and close the eyes. And internally, deep in our mind, there's a vision of a mirage. Shimmering silver blue appearance like a mirage on the horizon. The next stage involves the dissolution of the water element. So here we start to feel dry. Our mouth, nose, eyes become dry. And it's difficult to move our tongue. Feelings of pleasure and displeasure in the body diminish. We become numb physically. And our sense of hearing declines, maybe stops altogether. Even the ringing in our ears stops. Our mind may be hazy, frustrated, and nervous. Probably because of these changes happening in our body. And at this stage there's an inner vision of smoke, like smoke from incense or cigarettes hanging in the air in a room. Then after some time, the next stage involves the fire element absorbing. This is the heat in the body. So here our mouth and nose become completely dry. The body starts to get colder, especially from the extremities, hands and feet. And we're not able to digest anything anymore, so we can no longer eat or drink. Our mind may alternate between clarity and confusion. And we can no longer remember the names of people, even those close to us, friends and family. We may not even recognize them if they are there. And here our sense of smell declines, and our breathing becomes more difficult. Breathing in is weak, breathing out becomes longer and stronger. The inner vision at this time is of sparks of light, like from a bonfire or fireflies. Then we reach the fourth stage, where the air element absorbs. So here we can no longer move our arms and legs. Our body becomes immobile. Our mind can become bewildered, unaware of the outside world. Our last feeling of contact with the environment is slipping away, declining. Our last two senses, taste and touch, feeling sensations in the body, these dissolve. Visions may appear in our mind, depending on our karma. Beautiful, joyful ones as a result of more good karma, or frightening ones as a result of bad karma. Our breathing is getting more and more difficult. Finally, it stops altogether. So our body has now become completely lifeless. No more breathing, no more brain activity, no heartbeat. This is the point at which a person is normally declared dead. But our mind, our consciousness is still present in the body at a more subtle level. The vision at this point is that of a flame, like a candle flame that's just about to go out. Sort of reddish blue, flickering. So now there are no more gross experiences. The gross mind is absorbed. That includes our 5 senses and gross thoughts, conceptualizations. So they're no longer taking place. The mind now moves to a subtle level. We're now on the subtle level of the mind. The subtle mind includes 3 experiences. First is called the white appearance. This is like clear, empty sky filled with whitish light, like the bright light of the full moon in autumn. Then that ceases, and next is the red appearance, called the red increase. So it's also an appearance of sky, empty, clear sky, filled with coppery red light, like we sometimes see at sunset. That ceases, and next appears the black vision, called the black near attainment, which is also like empty sky, empty space, but totally dark. Not a single light anywhere. Completely black. This ends in a brief moment of unconsciousness. We lose consciousness completely for a moment. And then when we emerge from that, we wake up again. We are experiencing the clear light mind, which is the most subtle level of mind. It's been existing since beginningless time, but not something we normally experience. It's too subtle. Most of the time we're occupied with the gross levels of mind. So the clear light mind is, or the experience of this is, again, like that of a clear sky, totally free of pollution or any obstructions, suffused with clear, colorless light. And just let your mind stay in that experience with the feeling that this is the most subtle and most pure level of your mind, and the closest thing we could have to the direct realization of emptiness. It's not actually the direct realization of emptiness, but it's similar. There's no gross sense perceptions or thoughts, conceptions. It's just very clean, clear, serene, peaceful. And we can identify with this as our real nature, our Buddha nature. It's this mind that will one day become enlightened mind, totally free of all obscurations, greed, hatred, ignorance, karmic seeds. So all the obstacles, all the obscurations, completely gone. And realizing the true nature of things, perfect wisdom. So this experience of the clear light mind is similar to that state of enlightenment. So you can think of it as just getting a little taste of what it's like to be enlightened. But then if we're still ordinary beings and not enlightened, not having attained nirvana, due to our karmic imprints, our mind still being under the control of karma and delusions, then we arise from this clear light mind and go back through the other stages in the reverse order: black, red, white, and so on. And this time we are in a different kind of body than the one we have now. It's a subtle body, a Bardo body, which can travel very quickly just by thinking of a place. We can be there, pass through walls. We can't be seen by ordinary people, but Bardo beings can see each other. We are driven by the desire to find a rebirth, a home, a new body, a new life. And during the Bardo, there may also be experiences, visions, depending on our karma. Sometimes frightening ones, sometimes beautiful ones. It's similar to dreaming. There's similarities between the Bardo and our dream worlds, dream life. So it's good if we can familiarize ourselves with the idea that things appear to us as if they're real, truly existing, inherently existing, although they are not. So things are like reflections in a mirror, like mirages or like dreams, not to be taken so seriously. So if during our life we practice that, we get familiar with that, that can help us during the Bardo to not take seriously the things that appear to us, so that we're not frightened by scary images or attached to beautiful ones. Then at a certain point, anywhere from 1 moment to 49 days, we find our new life, our new rebirth, and enter the fertilized egg, the womb of a mother, and start a new life, have a new body, new experiences, but still in samsara, cyclic existence. So the ideal in Buddhism is freeing ourselves from this situation, so we no longer have to die, go through the Bardo, take rebirth again and again and again. And the way to do this is by realizing emptiness, the true nature of things. That's the kind of like the weapon eliminating ignorance and the other afflictive emotions in our mind that cause us to go through these experiences again and again. Well, see if you can generate the strong wish to engage in practice, to realize emptiness, and do the other practices needed to free ourselves from this cycle of suffering and to reach enlightenment so that we can help all other beings to also become free.